Imagine looking up at a perfectly normal spring sky, only to see a glowing rock the size of Mount Everest hurtling towards Earth at 20 miles per second. 66 million years ago, a piece of space debris traveling at roughly 45,000 miles per hour slammed into what is now the Gulf of Mexico. In a fraction of a single second, it released the terrifying energy of 10 billion Hiroshima atomic bombs. This wasn't just an explosion, it was the catastrophic reset button for life on Earth. Today, we're going to break down the exact timeline of the day the sky fell. We're going to walk through the final 24 hours of the dinosaurs, minute by terrifying minute, using hard geological evidence to uncover the most shocking 24 hours in our planet's history. We will look at exactly how a single rock managed to wipe out an empire that had dominated the globe for over 165 million years. The clock starts at zero. It is a calm morning on the Yucatan Peninsula during the late Cretaceous period. Pterosaurs glide through the warm, humid air, and giant herbivores graze peacefully in lush forests. Suddenly, the atmosphere is violently pierced. The Chicxulub asteroid, measuring roughly 6 to 6.5 miles wide, punches through the Earth's atmosphere so fast that the air in front of it simply cannot escape. This extreme compression heats the air to temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun, around 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Before the actual rock even touches the ground, the blinding flash of thermal radiation instantly vaporizes anything within a 1,000-mile radius. Forests, lakes, and giant dinosaurs like the Tyrannosaurus rex are immediately turned to ash in a flash of blinding light. Then comes the physical impact. The asteroid strikes a shallow tropical sea, gouging a hole 20 miles deep and over 100 miles wide into the Earth's crust in less than 2 seconds. To put that massive scale into perspective, if you dropped a rock that size on New York City, the crater would stretch all the way to Philadelphia, and the bedrock below would briefly act like a liquid. The sheer mechanical force of this impact displaces the entire local ocean, creating a mega tsunami of incomprehensible scale. But this is not your average tidal wave. This advancing wall of water is over 1.5 miles high. That is 3 times taller than the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world today. This colossal wave races outward at the speed of a jet airliner, sweeping across the North American continent and carrying massive marine reptiles and tons of ocean debris miles inland. At the exact same time, a massive seismic shockwave ripples violently through the Earth's crust, triggering magnitude 11 earthquakes around the globe. These earthquakes are 100 times more powerful than anything ever recorded in human history. The ground literally rolls and cracks like the surface of a stormy ocean, throwing massive multi-ton dinosaurs off their feet and collapsing ancient cliffsides thousands of miles away. But the immediate explosion and the towering tsunamis were only the local destruction. Have you ever wondered how an impact in Mexico could magically kill a dinosaur standing entirely on the other side of the planet, in places like modern-day Mongolia or Antarctica? The terrifying answer lies in what went up rather than just what came down. Here is the chilling twist of this entire apocalyptic event. The asteroid hit the absolute worst possible place on the surface of the Earth. The rock of the Yucatan Peninsula is extremely rich in gypsum and anhydrite, minerals that are heavily packed with sulfur. The impact pulverized trillions of tons of this specific rock, shooting it straight up through the atmosphere and directly into space. Over the next hour, this massive expanding cloud of vaporized rock, sulfur, and debris spreads completely across the globe, wrapping the Earth in a thick blanket of darkness. But gravity always wins. Within a few hours of the impact, those billions of tons of ejected debris begin to fall back down into the Earth's atmosphere. As these tiny rock particles re-enter, intense friction heats them up, turning them into glowing, superheated beads of glass called tektites. Trillions upon trillions of these tiny glass bullets rain down across the entire planet.
We know this is entirely true because paleontologists have found perfectly preserved fish fossils at a site called Tanis in North Dakota, with these exact glass tektites lodged deep inside their gills. As this glass rain streaks through the sky, it radiates intense thermal heat downward. The global temperature of the lower atmosphere rapidly spikes to lethal levels. For a few agonizing hours, the air temperature everywhere on Earth reaches upwards of 400 to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. The entire planet effectively turns into a giant fan-forced oven. Forests from North America to Asia spontaneously combust from the intense ambient heat. Over 70% of the world's forests catch fire almost simultaneously. Dinosaurs that miraculously survived the initial shockwave and the coastal tsunamis now face a sky raining molten glass and a landscape entirely engulfed in raging flames. The only creatures capable of surviving this horrific phase are the small, burrowing mammals, insects, and aquatic reptiles that can hide deep underground or underwater, completely shielded from the atmospheric broiler. If the asteroid had hit the deep open ocean just a few minutes earlier or later, the sulfur release would have been much smaller, the global heating would have been drastically reduced, and the dinosaurs might have survived to this day. But nature's timing was ruthlessly precise. As we cross the 10-hour mark and move into the end of the first day, the global fires begin to die down, but the true long-term nightmare is just settling in. The sky is no longer raining fire. Instead, it is choking with thick black soot from the burning forests and dense sulfur aerosols from the pulverized bedrock. The millions of tons of sulfur dioxide blasted into the stratosphere begin to mix with water vapor, creating a dense, impenetrable global layer of sulfuric acid clouds. By hour 24, the sun is completely blotted out from the surface of the Earth. The planet plunges into a darkness so deep and absolute that you would not be able to see your own hand in front of your face even at high noon. This darkness is not a temporary eclipse. It will last for months, and the severe dimming will continue for years.
With the sun entirely gone, the global oven rapidly flips and turns into a global freezer. Temperatures plummet by as much as 50 degrees Fahrenheit in a matter of days. This sudden, violent plunge into what scientists call an impact winter initiates the total collapse of the global food chain. Without any sunlight piercing the clouds, the process of photosynthesis comes to a grinding halt. The remaining terrestrial plants and microscopic marine phytoplankton die off in massive numbers. The massive plant-eating dinosaurs, like the iconic Triceratops and the long-necked sauropods, rapidly starve to death in the freezing dark. Without the enormous plant-eaters to hunt, the apex predators, like the fearsome Tyrannosaurus rex, quickly follow them into extinction. Furthermore, the massive amounts of sulfur in the air eventually mix with rain, creating highly toxic acid rain that acidifies the upper levels of the oceans, wiping out the beautiful shelled ammonites and the giant marine reptiles that ruled the seas. The mighty dinosaurs, who successfully ruled the Earth for over 165 million years, were essentially wiped out by a devastating chain reaction that started and reached the absolute point of no return within a single 24-hour window. This single catastrophic day abruptly erased 75% of all plant and animal species on the planet forever. The story of the Chicxulub impact is a deeply humbling reminder of exactly how fragile life on our planet truly is. It took only one day to end an unstoppable biological empire, completely paving the way for small, adaptable mammals and eventually humans to rise up and inherit the Earth. What specific part of the dinosaurs' final 24 hours shocked you the absolute most? Was it the terrifying 1.5-mile-high tsunami, the boiling sky raining molten glass, or the sudden plunge from a global oven into a freezing ice age? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if a similar apocalyptic event were to happen today, comment on your favorite tool or piece of modern technology that you think would be the absolute most essential for human survival underground. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more mind-blowing, highly factual deep dives into our planet's incredible and often terrifying history.